Hello friends, welcome to TechMyMa YouTube channel. In this video, we will see about functions in Python. Okay, so let's get into the video. Function. Why we use function means to avoid the repetition of codes. I will give you an example. You have to implement a project where you need to calculate factorial for n number of, like 10 times or 15 times, 20 times in different parts of the code. Okay, but the concept remains the same. Lines of code remains the same, only the place where we use different places, right? So this is like additional work, time consuming. You have to even copy or paste and you have to change the values. Everything is time consuming. So to avoid this kind of situation, and the developer also will be bored, do I need to write again? Okay, so for that purpose only function is created. Okay, so simply once you can create a function, the purpose, so factorial calculation you can create it just once. Whenever it is required inside the code, you can just call the function name, it will calculate the factorial. I hope you understand. This is the purpose of using a function. Okay, so first thing, to create a function you have to use def keyword. Def keyword used for function definition. Okay, that is what definition is called as def. So you have defined, given a definition about a function. How to use that means you have to call the function. When you call, then only you can use the function. Okay, so function def, set of statements written once but executed multiple times. Right, written once but executed multiple times. What is function call means? We can call the function multiple times. Okay, this is what function call. I will give you an example. So def addition, I wanted to perform addition. This is a function name. Okay, addition is a function name. A comma b, which means there are two inputs or two values I have to give, and return a plus b. So return is to return the values, whether you can give 100 or 200, whatever you wanted to display in the end of the code, that you can give in return. So I wanted to know the function of a plus b, what will happen a plus b. So this is called function. I have defined a function here. Okay, now I have to call addition of 30 comma 40. See, addition is the function. 30 and 40, I'm giving the values here. So when you call the function, you don't need to write a plus b and blah blah more lines and all, you don't need to write. So what is written here, it will actually work out. So see, 30 plus 40 is 70. So this is called as function, and the second one is called as function call, that is calling the function. Okay, it's very simple. This is function, it's function call. Okay, and some people might have, can we add more functional statements inside a function? Means you can add n number of statements, but only one is recommended. One function for one functional purpose. Okay, don't add more than that. This is function, this is calling a function. Okay, so usually one function for one functionality. Okay, so this is what function and function call. So let's move to the most important topic, like main function. Okay, so main function means this is used for internal purpose, which is already there in your system. It's not that something newly you are creating, which is already there. Because functions you can create. This addition I have shown, it's we are creating, it's customized, right? But main function is available in your system by default. Okay, so I will give you an example, then I will explain you how it will work. So I'm creating a function def addition a comma b, return a plus b, and again I'm writing one more function def square of a. So what how to square a element means a power 2 return squared. So squared element will be returned as output. Okay, the step-by-step process: defining a function, calling the function, getting the output. This is a 3-step of process in functions. So I have defined 2 different functions. Now I am going to use the main function, and I will explain you the purpose of using main function. So if double underscore name is main, function name is main, means print addition. I'm giving 2 values, 10 comma 30, print square 10, like a value I can give, right? So it will give you the result like this. Normally when you define a function, if you define addition, when you type addition here, it will call the addition. Okay, but the purpose of using main function, in case if you have 10 function, you can call as per your sequence. I want to call square first, I wanted to call subtraction second, and then addition, multiplication. Such a way, if you have 10 function, you can call as per your sequence, as per your order. So that is the purpose of using main function here. Okay, so if you want, you can change square to first line and addition to the second line. But normally when you define a function, when you go to the next step, it has to be called for that particular purpose. That is how it works. So when we have multiple function, you can use main function to call the function in sequence manner as you expected. That's what I explained you so far. Okay, see, this is the output 40 and 100. So same code I just copy pasted here. If I remove this if statement, I have given if, right? If at all I remove this particular line, still the code will go through. This is for your more clear explanation. I have written like this to take an input from user. They're not going to give the input like here I'm giving the input by default, right? 10 and 30. Instead you can take input from user, enter a value, int input. Int means it will take only integer input to take an input. So a comma b. Wait, let me run and show you the code. This is my code. I'm just running the code. Okay. Enter a value 23, 45. See, 23 plus 45, 68, and 23 is a value, so square means 529. Okay. So if you remove this if statement also, this code will go through. Okay, the same output you will get. Why to use if and main function means, main function, why to use means, this is a file. Imagine this is a file I saved as some sam.py. Okay, sam.py. Okay, and you have another file called john.py. sam.py is one file. sam.py is one file. Okay, so in sam.py you have this code, you already saved it, and you are creating another file john.py. Okay, so there you have to do the same codes. John has to do the same code, same process and everything. So instead of he's writing all these codes, he can import from your codes. Okay, so he can take from your codes, which is s.py. So when you're importing from your file to another file, if you are not using the main function or this if, then this will not give you the expected output. Okay, this will not give you the expected output because here you already have addition and square. Okay, but John has to do only square. He doesn't want to do addition. If you are not using this particular line, what will happen? First, it will print this two outputs, then only you will get your output only for square. Getting my point? In this function, you have two different processes, like you have to do. One is addition and one more is square. Okay, so this is the value 68 and 529 for this code. If you are importing this code to another file, but he don't want to do addition and square at the same time. He wanted to only do addition or only square, any one of this. In that case, first this output will be printed, then only he will get his output. To avoid this problem only, you have to use this main function and if condition here. So while you use this condition, he will get his direct output for squaring the value what he is going to enter. Right? So this is the concept here. I hope you understand. If you have a doubt, just mention in the comment section. I will revert back to you. Okay? And why I have not shown you that you have to practice this in PyChart, because here two files importing I can't do in the same window, right? That's why. Okay? So okay, next concept is built-in function. So all function, I'm giving you example all of a list I have taken, two string values and -1 and 0. If I run this, it will return false, because just now I told you when you use 0, it will return false. If I remove 0, it will return true. So this is the logic of all. If everything is true, it will return true. In case if one element is false, it will return false. Okay, so any means any of, I'm taking a list where empty set is there, empty list is there, empty tuple is there. So since everything is empty, if you run this, it will give false. But if you have at least even one value, it will return true. It's just opposite to this one. All. Okay, just straight opposite. If everything is true, it will return true. If one thing is false, it will return false. One element here, if everything is false, then it will return false. At least one element is true, then it will return true. Okay, so -1 is also true only, where it will return true only. So boolean, you can check which and all the elements have negative, true, and which and all the elements that is false. Okay, so if you give -1, it will return true, and if you give 0, it will return false. CHR. So in our keyboard, every number has an ASCII value, right? This it's a very common concept, everybody knows. Okay, So here this value whatever you are giving inside the chr function, it is called code pointer. So it will return a letter for that particular number what you are going to give. So I'm giving chr of 9, it will return letter a b c d f. From this it will return a letter which is given in the keyboard. Okay, so if you give chr of 0, see this is the letter, and chr of 200, it's e, chr of 1, x011, letter and numbers also. I mean that is what the based on the ASCII value it will return. So ORD is straight opposite to CHR. Okay, if you have to give letter, you cannot give integer here, you cannot verify integer. When you give letters it will return value. So for A it's 97, for Q it is 113. So you can give one more also, ORD of D, say it's 100. Such a way it will return the values. And ABSS, it will return a value without a sign. Without sign means if you take -100 it will take 100 only. You give plus symbol also, sign, in coding somewhere it is needed, right? It won't show you whatever the element you are giving, whether it is negative element or positive, it has to replicate the same, but it won't do that. So it will return the value without a sign. Okay, that is the purpose of ABS function. And enumerate function, this is a little important. So it will enumerate purposes. It will help you to display the value present inside a list, like element present inside a list with index. In these situations you can use enumerate function. So I'm taking a for loop for index comma value in enumerate of a list I have given. For index comma value, this line, for index comma value in enumerate of list 2 3 4 5 6 7. So print index and value. So it's just simple, 2 lines of code. So 2 is in the 0th index, 3 is in the first index, 4 second index, 5 third index, 6 fourth index, 7 fifth index. So this is how it will return the index as well as value. Okay, this is the purpose of using enumerate. Even you might get this in interview also, so careful with this. Okay, and bin, it will return the binary values. So bin of 2 is 0b10. You can check any value if you want. See bin of 7, so which is 0b1111. Okay, binary values using bin you can check where it is stored. Okay, so this one is globals. So it's a common dictionary. Globals function contains a dictionary with global symbols. You can call this anywhere whenever it is required. Okay, in larger codes and all you will use globals, but mostly used functions are all of this. Okay, see name main, this is what I have used like some few minutes back, right? Name main here. See, it's a function which is available in your system. So when you check globals, yes, it will display all the global functions available. Global functions available in the dictionary format it will display. So next function is sum. Okay, so it will give you the sum of total, whatever the list you are giving, or set or tuple, whatever have, it will sum all the elements and it will return the final output. So it's 14, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a list I have. So sum of UQ, then the value is 14. And reversed. So if you have a list, a tuple, you can use a reversed function and you can reverse the values. Okay. So for I in A, you can use a single line also. Why I'm using for means it will display, it will take and read all the values one by one, one by one. So for I in reversed of list what I have, print I. So it just reverse the list. Okay. So that's all about built-in functions. And there are few more functions as I mentioned earlier that I have shown in the previous course. You can refer that. So now the most important concept is lambda function. So why do we need lambda function? What is lambda function? So lambda function is like use and throw. Okay. If you are going to use a function for 10 times or 20 times, in that case, and there are functions that will be like, now I have shown just 2 lines or 3 lines, it will be 10 lines or 15 lines also will be there. So in that situation and all, you can use normal functions, you can create your own function. But lambda function, when it is used, means it's like use and throw function. It's just one line statement you're supposed to use. One line statement you're supposed to use. In that situation, internally you can use a lambda function. This is for internal purpose. Okay. So you have a function that can be done in one line. In that situation, you can use lambda function. Okay. So this is a explanation and example I have given. This is a normal function for returning a plus b. So it's giving the value as 30. Instead of you doing it and like this 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, this can be done in 1 line also, right? And you're going to use this one time. So lambda a comma b colon a plus b, and you're passing the values. See, it's returning the same value, right? So we can use the lambda function where single line function is available, okay, to reduce the memory and the resource, to reduce the resource. This is the purpose of using lambda function. So here I have given 3 applications using lambda function. One is map, filter and reduce. So let me start with map. I have taken a list a equal to 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so I wanted to square all the elements present inside my list. So list of, my output will be in the format of list, so I'm using list here. So map of lambda lm, I'm just using a reference lem colon lm power 2 comma a. Okay, so map means what it does, it calls this functions 4 times because we have, see, 1 2 3 4 5, it calls this function 5 times, not 4 times. Okay, but the line, the code of it seems to be just 1 line, but actually map, what it will do, it will call the function 4 times internally. Then you will get this output 1 comma 4 comma 9 comma 16 comma 25. So this is the purpose of map. Okay, filter is the second application. So a equal to, I have a list, need values which is only greater than 5, not less than that. In that case you can use filter. So list, to return a list, filter, to filter the values, lambda lm greater than 5 comma a. Okay, see, so it will return 6 7 8 9 because these are the values which is greater than 5. Okay, so third one is reduce. So reduce, anyhow in Python 3 latest versions they have removed this concept, but still for your knowledge purpose I'm explaining you. So reduce, why? Because you can use sum just to get the value. So what it does, reduce means, this is the list I have. So here it will take I as 1, j as 2, the function is I plus j, right? Then the value will be 3. Okay, so now the 3 will go to I again, and here in the second index 3 is there, so 3 will go to j, this 3 will go to j. Now 3 plus 3 is 6. Okay, 3 plus 3 is 6. Now 6 value will go to I and 4 will go to j. So such a way it will calculate, it will sum up the value, it will give us 36. Instead, the simplest way you can use sum of the list what you wanted to add, it returns 36. That is the reason a reduce concept has been removed. So for your knowledge purpose I have explained. The first one is map, to map the values, and second one is filter, and third one is reduce inside lambda function. Okay, the last concept is scope of variable. Okay, so normally variable means you might have studied in college, or if you're a student you may have to study in the upcoming classes. So global variable, local variable is available. Whenever you assign a variable, global variable is there, local variable is there. Especially when it comes to function, then only you can differentiate this. This is a global variable, this is a local variable. Okay, so local variable means which is available only inside a function. You have a function, here you have, this is the example, I'm assigning a equal to 100 and I'm defining a function def func, so b equal to 20. I'm giving a variable here. Okay, so here a equal to 100 is called as global variable. You can call at any point of time, even you can call here as well in a local inside a function also you can call. Okay, but I'm giving a variable inside a function called b equal to 20. Okay, so this is local variable, you can call only inside a function. Once the function is done, you cannot call it outside, it will terminate here. This is the difference between global variable and local variable. I've given an example as well, so I'll explain you. See, I want to print a, I'm typing a, since it's a global variable it is giving me the result, but b is available only inside a function, right? So if I give b, I wanted to print the values of b. See, name b is not defined. Why? Because it is inside a function. So this is how it will throw the error. Okay, so function, global and local variable, we can call global variable inside and outside the function as well. That's what I told you just now.